Silence, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We now have public comment, item number 5. First up, we've got Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. I'm Michelle Royal, if many of you don't know. I have had a business in the district for the last 27 years. I kind of thought of myself as the spark of what started the downtown, which was going nowhere back then. A man named Dan Carmody came to me and said, Michelle, I know you own Co-op Records. Think outside the box and come down here and start a business in the district. That's where my journey began here. Since then, I've started Hickey Brothers Cigars, which you're all familiar with, I hope. I also used to own Copia Martini, which is now Icons. And I've tried other ventures such as Alma, which was a Spanish tapas restaurant that made it for 3 years, but the Quad Cities wasn't ready for it. So I'm here again with another business plan and something I hope that you all understand is needed in the Quad Cities, especially on the Illinois side here, and that is a cannabis cafe. In November, the state of Illinois said that tobacco stores like my own, who have indoor smoking privileges that follow the 80-20% rule and have been in business since the beginning of that law, are qualified now for these cannabis cafes. The deal is that I'm coming to the City Council to get your approval and hopefully have that come here. And I'm going to give you some cons and pros on why we need this. Cons, you're going to force people who are in the district to smoke in places they should not. The nightclubs are going to get fined if they are unable to enforce smoking in the clubs. The city will also be breaking laws, or at least encouraging people to smoke on places when we have outdoor events, especially on an event like you make on my weekend. This will drive customers away who do smoke if they enforce it, and customers away if they don't enforce it, who don't want to be there. My solution on that is to have the cafe so that we can funnel those people into the business to smoke there and then go back out and join the activities. Public housing and apartments in the districts will also have to address the issue. You can tell them no, but if they have nowhere else to go, they will be forced to smoke inside. We want to be good neighbors to our friends in Iowa. At the present time, if you're from Iowa and you come over here and you purchase at our dispensary and you pay the taxes that we're all counting on from those, you still have no place to smoke it. So what do you do with it once you buy it? What we're saying is we want you to traffic it back over the bridge. That is not good neighbors. Once this becomes a problem and once they've been cited for these problems, we're going to lose tax revenue from Iowans who decide that it's not worth it to come over here and buy and get caught trafficking across the bridge. This is a loss of business that has been, and this could also be a loss of a business that's been in the district for the last 23 years and was a catalyst. Now, the pros on this. Well, the pros is simple. It solves all those problems. What we have to offer is a place that would allow Illinois, which would follow the Illinois Smoking Act of 2007, which allows my place to be a cannabis lounge. We have the air intake systems to remove any odor and any smoke that would penetrate any other part of the business. We would ID all customer and wristband them and charge them a small minimal fee to smoke, thus generating an income. We would also invest in more cigars, tobacco accessories to be sure to maintain that 80-20% rule. We would also have more entertainment there, such as open mic comedy nights and open mic music nights, which are missing in the district now since the loss of comedy sports. When a place has customers in it, it attracts other customers in who will enjoy such events and selling more hookahs and cigars and bringing in sales reps from cigar companies to come in. Plus, I would guess the surrounding restaurants would appreciate the extra food business that they would get from those customers who are partaking, which also generates a tax income. And I did a little bit of my work, and I went to my bank and a friend of mine who works for MAG DEA, who said, because I'm not selling, cultivating, transporting, or producing, I would not be breaking any federal laws. So the question is, do you want to be proactive or retroactive when this becomes a problem in creating more work for our officers and our court systems? Unless that is a way of saying we're just going to sit on it and see where it goes, I don't think that's the proper thing to do. So I'm asking you kindly to consider us to be this place to come in the district, to enjoy the nightlife, to have a safe place to smoke without smoking in our public places. One other thing here, recently HR 3884 passed the Judiciary Committee and was sponsored by Tulsi Gabbard. We have a short 2-year window to make money on this before it does become legal nationwide and is taken off the feds list. I think this is a good way to generate taxes and income. And of course, I'm a locally owned business whose money stays here locally. So if you have any questions, I am here to answer.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate your time and your dedication to Rock Island.
Thank you.
A few comments, if I may.
Sure.
I appreciate your long-term dedication to downtown Rock Island. I know you and I have talked about this many times. I've talked about the subject with city staff and my colleagues up here. It's potentially a complicated issue, but really it boils down to, at the end of the day, I have a downtown business owner coming to me and asking, hey, I would like to expand my business in this particular way. And frankly, as we discussed when we were creating the zoning ordinance surrounding cannabis dispensaries and things like that, basically our city staff said, hey, we're going to just treat this like we do alcohol, right? And we allow places, businesses where people can go there and consume alcohol, and that doesn't seem to be a major issue. And so why would we not do the same thing for cannabis? I want to help get this done as much as I can. I think when done responsibly and safely, which I believe you have demonstrated you're capable of running a very responsible business for the past several decades, that it can be a great thing. So thank you very much, and I'll be pushing to get this done.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know that Michelle has met with both Tara and Miles and continue to work through the process to see if it's viable for both parties. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Just for clarification, you would do this in the same location where you are now with
Correct.
the business that you have now?
Yes.
And was the snafu about the housing upstairs solved somehow?
They're in the process of looking at it. I know HUD in Illinois has had discussions because as we stand right now, they're smoking it anyway up there. And so who's enforcing it? Plus, what we're saying to those people that are in those, we're not giving them any other place to smoke. So they have to do something, especially with the people who are smoking medical. I offered a solution of at least for those people who are down here in those type of housings to have a fee waived, and they would not have to purchase the membership to come in to smoke, to keep it from being in the housing area and fire hazards and amongst other things. Look, we know that they're going to do it. We know that CBD's already out there and it's produced the same way, smells the same, it's happening. We need to address it and keep it from being a bigger problem.
I'm not saying this in opposition
No.
to your thoughts at all, but I'm concerned that we don't run afoul of the federal government.
Right.
If
I don't want to cut you off, but that's exactly what Miles and Tara have been working through and on the plan and all the devil's detail
So
to make
let's
sure that
find
they
out.
follow the laws.
Right, and the federal law, and all I'm asking is consideration. You know, if we get the license, we can sit on it until Dari, Economic Growth, whoever controls my building, makes a decision on whether it's not, they want to do it or not do it, whether there's anything that can be worked with to say, okay, we're designating a spot to allow it to happen. We still don't want it upstairs in the apartments. And right now, it is happening. I mean, I know it's an issue in a lot of them. I mean, I know Carrie has said they've gotten complaints on it, you know. But if you don't give them a place to smoke, they got to do it somewhere, you know. And if you can't smoke in your home, which that is your home, and you can't smoke in public places, then where do you go? And trust me, there's several businesses down here. I work at the Speakeasy, you know. I know a lot of the performers who smoke. You can smell that stuff coming all the way from the back in the public places. You know, if people had a place to go smoke in downtown, we could keep that out of those places.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, and I'm really worried about you making my weekend, because you know that's going to be a problem. You know, it's set itself up for marijuana, you know, and if we don't do something about it, certainly we're going to have a bigger issue that weekend. And it may be any of the events out there, to be honest with you. I would love to see somebody just say, look, we know you're going to partake, but this is where you got to partake at. Do not do it on our plaza. And like I said, I'm here. I've been here to support the district when I'm the only person open during the day and there's negative news reports. I've always come at it at a positive angle. And this is another positive angle that I hope to produce in the downtown. And, you know, let's us be the gold standard. The people who did something, who actually made it go forward and pushed it through, that our neighbors from other cities would say, wow, we need to follow their example. Plus, it's a good PR thing, because Iowa's going to say, well, look, they did something for us. You know, the sheriff over in Davenport would say, bravo, thank you for trying to prevent the trafficking of that coming across our bridge. I think it's a good PR thing.
Thank you again.
All righty,
Appreciate
thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Next up, we have Lindsay. Excuse me, man.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Hawker and I live in the 5th Ward. I'm here tonight in hopes that you will vote yes to approve the changes to the dogs and cat ordinance. I'm excited about the change that would make it so no pet store in Rock Island could sell cats or dogs, with the exception of working with an animal shelter to host cats and dogs up for adoption. More than 300 communities across the United States have embraced policies like this, as well as a few states. While in Rock Island, our pet store, Row Aquarium, will not be impacted since they do not sell cats and dogs. This is a good thing to do as a preventative measure as more and more communities enact policies like this. Some people have noticed Rock Island taking the lead on this and are discussing pursuing humane pet store ordinances in their cities. So I do want to talk a little bit about what these ordinances do for anyone in the audience who's unfamiliar, because there can be some misconceptions about the purpose. It is important to note that the humane pet store ordinances focus on pet stores. They do not impact people wanting to buy directly from a breeder. When humane pet store ordinances are enacted in cities with pet stores that do not follow the humane pet store model, the ordinances are not designed to put pet stores out of business. The goal is to get the businesses to phase out their puppy and kitten selling practices and instead focus on being profitable selling supplies like many stores do successfully. We have talked before about how at least some puppies sold in area pet stores are sourced from commercial breeding facilities located hours away in Iowa and Missouri, including some with histories of violations of the minimal standards they're required to keep. The nonprofit Bailing Out Benji defines a puppy mill as a breeding facility where profit is more important than the welfare of the dogs. When a wide variety of breeds are being housed by the dozens or 100 plus in one place to make pet store puppies, profit is key. Stores that profit off the sale of animals from mills will tell you they are sourcing them from reputable breeders. But the fact of the matter is, no reputable breeder sells to a pet store. You don't have to take my word on what a good breeder is, though. If you read the American Kennel Club's guidelines on finding a breeder or guidelines from any national animal welfare organization like the Humane Society of the United States or the ASPCA, they will all talk about how a good breeder will carefully work with you and be there for you for the lifetime of your new pet. In comparison, a pet store is a middleman you don't need that counts on impulse sales. If you decide to buy a puppy, the biggest things are to do your research and meet the parents of the puppy you are considering buying to make sure you're not supporting a situation you disagree with. Humane pet store ordinances and informed buyers can make a huge difference for dogs being used for breeding. Thank you to the council for listening, for your consideration, and for being leaders on this in the Quad Cities. I'm truly proud to live in Rock Island.
Thank you very much. Jenny.
Hello, my name is Jenny Geis, and I live in the 7th Ward. I am here tonight also to support and encourage all of you to vote yes for the changes to the pet store ordinance. I am excited that Rock Island is the first city in the area to consider an ordinance restricting pet stores from selling animals instead of showing adoptable pets from local shelters and rescues. To follow up with what Tracy from Bailing Out Benji mentioned last month about the communicable diseases, the 2 rescues that I have fostered for make sure that their animals are fully vetted prior to adoption. This includes the vet exam, vaccinations, deworming, spays and neuters, microchipping, and identification and treatment of any conditions, and if necessary, recommendations for further treatment. This is not only safer for the animal, but for the public as well. A rescue's mission is to find a lifelong, loving, forever home for their animals. With turning a profit no longer the top concern, the pet stores would be able to focus on finding a good match, making sure the adopters are ready for the responsibility of a pet. The landlord, if applicable, would allow the pet, and to check any necessary references. The staff also become familiar with the personalities and needs of a specific animal or breed, and can make sure that the home is in fact a good fit. In the instances when it doesn't work out, the rescues always request that their animals be returned to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have Jody.
Hi, my name is Jody Ivy, and I live in the 7th Ward, and I fully support a retail ban on the sale of puppies and cats that come from these mills. I'm also a volunteer with Bailing Out Benji, and I actually adopted a foster that Jenny had unknowingly, so also made a friend in the process of adopting. People often say they want to purchase a puppy from a store because they believe raising a puppy would be safer for their families than adopting a dog from a shelter, and that they come from reputable breeders, but that is a false assumption. In the first large-scale study of its kind, researchers have found evidence that puppies purchased from pet stores show an increased prevalence for behavioral problems as adults. The paper published in the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association was a collaboration between James Sparrow of the Penn School of Veterinary Medicine, Frank McMillan, Director of Wellbeing Studies at Best Friends Animal Society, along with the University of Prince Edward Island Veterinary College. The extent of the abnormalities in dogs sourced from large-scale breeders was a surprise. The results are pretty dramatic, McMillan says. The problems span so many different types of behaviors, and the differences are rather extreme for some of the behaviors. Not only did pet store puppies fare worse in 12 of 14 behavioral variables measured, they did not score better on any measure. Pet store puppies showed an increased risk of aggression towards their owners and other dogs, as well as a greater chance of escaping, roaming, and running away. Serpel says puppies that end up in pet stores often live a disrupted early life and tend to be poorly socialized. He says they are weaned and separated from their mothers too early. Previous research suggests that another factor contributing to psychological problems found in commercially bred adult dogs may be the high stress that their mothers experience while pregnant at these puppy mills. The mother's stress may play a role in improper fetal brain development, McMillan and Serpel both say. Until the causes of the differences detected in puppies from pet stores can be specifically identified and remedied, Serpel and McMillan both say they cannot recommend that puppies be obtained from pet stores. If someone wants to get a puppy, they can obtain one through a reputable breeder, or better yet, adopt from a local shelter and save a life. All three of my dogs are from local shelters, and I've been happy to have them in my home, and they've been a great part of my family. So thank you for your time, and have a great night.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming out. I know there's other people in the audience supporting the same cause. That's all that's signed up for the open comment. I do have a couple comments, actually, while we have that part of it. The update. Start out 2020 right with passes from Rock Island Public Library. Rock Island Public Library just added a family pass to the Rock Island Fitness and Activity Center, RIFAC, to its collection of culture and entertainment passes that can be checked out with an Illinois library card. Additional passes in the Rock Island Library collection include the Figge, German American Heritage Society, Niamey Zoo, Putnam Museum, and the Quad City Botanical Center. And Genesius. Is that correct? Is that what you were trying to tell me? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Communication. Passes are available at the main library downtown and Southwest Library locations. The 29th Quad City Farm Equipment Show, January 19th through the 21st, 2020, and at the Quad City Expo Center will host an indoor farm equipment show. The show will feature over 200 companies displaying everything that is new. Show admission and parking are free. Additional information is available at www.quadcityfarmshow.com or www.qccaeexpocenter.com. 37th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Service and Awards on Monday, January 20th from 10:30 a.m. till noon. The Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center, get that whole, that's a mouthful. Community Center will host its 37th Annual Memorial Service and Awards in honor of Dr. King. This year's theme is "The Arc of the Moral Universe is Long, but it bends toward justice." This event features keynote speaker Reverend Alan Suler from Olivia Baptist Church and a variety of performances and presentations, including the I Have a Dream Award presented to the Rock Island Citizen for exemplary community service and enormous contribution made to the community. This event is free and open to the public. And the other is census. I want to make a comment that they are looking for people to work for the census in the city of Rock Island, and or the Quad Cities, but in the city of Rock Island. And the city of Rock Island has created a census committee working on trying to identify areas to count that need some assistance. So please, anybody out there that would like to work for the census, please look that up. Contact City Hall here if you wish, and we can forward you.
2020census.jobs.org. And the jobs for Rock Island County are $22 an hour. For Scott County, it's $21.50 an hour.
There you go.
It used to be 15, they jumped it up, yeah.
They jumped it up. But it's very, very important that we get everybody counted. That can make a difference for the next 10 years in state and federal funding. And so it is very, very critical that we get everybody counted. So thank you. Item number 6.
Minutes of the December 16, 2019 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item number 7. State of the City Address. So you get to put up with me for just a little bit here. get this thing started. Working with technology here to see how well this works. But it's my privilege and honor to serve the citizens of Rock Island as mayor. I would like to start tonight by thanking all the city employees, elected officials, and 140 citizens representing 25 various boards and commissions that help us set the direction of the city. The city has a number of success stories in 2019. We had many new commercial businesses move to Rock Island. Existing businesses expand their current location. This was throughout the city, from our downtown area to southwest Rock Island to Black Hawk Road corridor, resulting in over $30 million in capital investment by private companies. These projects have added hundreds of jobs this year, with more to come in the future. However, we have not had any success filling the Watchtower site on 11th Street. We are finding that brick and mortar retail growth is slow, and that location does not have the traffic or demographics that most retail providers are looking for. The city may have to start looking at opportunities other than retail for this site. But we will continue to work diligently to find the best options for that location. One area where we have seen growth and believe there's more opportunity to develop is light and medium industrial. We will continue trying to attract retail to provide goods and services that are not currently available in Rock Island. Current property owners continue to invest in buildings by using city's facade program along with their own to update and upgrade the outsides of their buildings. Our inspections department has been very busy making sure both the new construction and existing buildings meet code and are safe. Our planning and zoning divisions have initiated a lot of first-time projects to lead us into the future. They applied for the National Register of Historic Places in our downtown district and worked on zoning and ordinance for the new cannabis laws, among many other projects. Our housing market has still continued to be steady. Revenue for the city has been flat for the past several years. A significant source of our revenue is state sales tax and state income tax, but several years ago, the state took a good portion of this away and has since reinstated only a portion of that. Even with the $30 million of private capital investment, it takes time before the city sees the revenue. We found it necessary to give some incentives to make these projects happen, and it could be several years before we see the total impact of the investment. Another source of our revenue is through the state gaming tax. That too has declined over the last several years, with the addition of video gaming now allowed in bars and restaurants in Illinois, and the renovation of the 2 casinos on the Iowa side of the river. We've had some success in cutting expenses over the last several years, partially with personnel reductions, but unfortunately expenses are still going up faster than our revenue. We still need to remember that Mother Nature was hard on us in 2019. We had record-breaking floods this past summer, not only in the river levels, but also in the number of floods and the duration of the floods. During the winter months, we endured many snow events and needed to purchase more salt and spent more labor than previous years. When we started the budgeting process 3 years ago, we started with a $5.3 million deficit. We balanced the budget with only using a small part of the reserves. 2 years ago, we started with a $3.6 million deficit and got that close to a balanced budget. This year, we started with a $2.9 million deficit and got close to a balanced budget. This is a good indication that most of the expense cuts that were made each year help balance the budget over the long term. We've been able to maintain between an 80 and 90-day reserve for our cash balance, which is best practices. We accomplished some major projects and leveraged state and federal dollars in 2019. A good example of this would be resurfacing of 38th Street from Blackhawk Road all the way down to 7th Avenue and 18th Avenue from 17th Street all the way to Moline Border. With both of these projects were 80% funded with federal dollars. We received over $1 million from HUD that qualified for a number of CDBG projects. We installed LED streetlights throughout the city, thereby improving energy efficiency. One of the biggest financial burdens the city has and will continue to have is the police and fire pensions. These pensions make up a very large portion of the general fund dollars. State law requires that pensions must be 90% funded by the year 2041. In order for this to happen, substantial annual payments are made, and those payments increase significantly every year. This is an earned benefit that the employees deserve and have also contributed to. A promise made should be a promise kept, but the state made these promises, not the city, yet the city has to pay the tab. New legislation, which combines all the police funds together and the fire funds together over the next 2.5 years, will hopefully provide some relief. The city has several organized labor agreements, and the employees in these groups and the city have agreed to hold wage increases within reason for the next several years. Remember that personnel costs are more than 70% of the overall general fund. An 8% property tax increase was considered for 2020, but we were able to get that down to an estimated 3.93% increase in the tax rate. This happened because the city manager and the directors listened to the city council and the comments from the citizens and committed to not to replacing some open positions and delaying others. The city has reduced the size of its workforce after the last several years due to becoming more efficient without reducing core services, though. The city also has some social responsibilities, such as maintaining its own properties and offering the citizens amenities such as services for quality of living. Our library, at no expense to the taxpayers, was able to add a mobile library called Library to Go. They saw an increase of 35% in attendance in the programming and events. 160,000 people visited the Rock Island Public Libraries this year. The fire department was one of 2 agencies to receive a Life Safety Award at the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance banquet, and they were recognized as a 5-star fire safety community by the Northern Illinois Fire Sprinkler Advisory Board. The Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center reached over 2,200 youth with their after-school and summer day camp programs, served over 100 Rock Island County families with counseling and case management, and touched the lives of over 20,000 people in a variety of ways through their programs. Here's a fun little interesting fact that I had some fun with this year. 3 King Center children in the after-school program qualified for the state robotics competition, and they were just 3 going against teams of 10, a number of teams. I went off script earlier today. I'm not going to do it. Maybe come back to it because my technology locked up last time, but some interesting thoughts with that. Our Parks and Recreation Department completed Phase 2 of the Douglas Park remodel and started Phase 3 to develop a youth football field and multi-sports field. Over $1 million in grants and private dollars have been raised for this project. Parks, along with Martin Luther King Center, expanded the First Tee program at the Highland Springs Golf Course, which extended the program, helping 225 youth. Now, let's not forget that the NFL Draft was televised live across the country from Rock Island, Illinois, for the first time ever. The NFL was so impressed with our enthusiasm, they allowed us to announce 4 draft picks instead of just the one that was originally promised. Our Community Economic Development Department was granted, or did grant out, $815,000 from HUD dollars to fund different projects, including neighborhood housing programs, public safety, Douglas Park, sidewalk improvements around the schools, and security cameras throughout the city. The city has also seen a 10% overall decrease in crime under the Part 1 of the Uniform Crime Reporting System. 10% decrease. 3 new council members were seated in 2019. Welcome. And we continued Unplugged series. In the 3rd session, citizens could ask the city council members questions directly, and the council could learn the citizens' thoughts and concerns. The city continues to be transparent and open to the public. A couple quick updates on a few of the projects for 2020. The city is having an engineering firm look at the efficiencies of the equipment in all the buildings to see if the cost savings could be had more efficient, like LED lighting, solar panels, new boilers, new compressors, the list goes on, as we heard earlier. We also are doing a needs assessment in specific parts of the city to evaluate what improvements could be made in these areas for a better quality of life. This assessment is partly funded by the John Deere Foundation. Also, our new $20 million water filtration plant just started pumping water and will be completing this project during the 2nd quarter of 2020, replacing our 109-year-old water plant. Got our money out of that one. With the new cannabis law in place, the city hopes to have a dispensary located in the city and to see some new revenue. The city has also initiated the Census Committee to make sure that all citizens in the city of Rock Island are recognized and counted. This could also help the city get more state and federal funding in the future. In closing, our city is on solid financial ground. We have a number of projects scheduled for 2020 that will increase revenue and reduce expenses. Our vision for 2020 is focused on the future, and this town rocks. So thank you very much for your attention. I will go back and add just real quick is that those 3 students, those 3 children at Martin Luther King Center, I went down and visited with them and their family. And Jerry will attest to this, he was there, but the enthusiasm that they had was just, it was not seen anywhere. You know, they talked and they played well as a team. It was amazing how they did the tag team, and one person would help come up with the idea, and another person would help design the layout, and another one would work with the robotics. And they all worked together and shared the responsibility. Nobody got selfish or anything else. It was just a neat team, collaborative deal with creative thinking. And it was also neat is to see their family standing behind them and endorsing it and pushing it and really helping with that enthusiasm. You know, if people are familiar with STEM programs, or STEAM as some will even call it, but science, technology, engineering, and math, it had that written all over it. Whether it was intended that or not, I don't know. But they competed over at the Putnam Museum with, I want to say hundreds of teams. There was lots of teams. That place was packed for several days with these teams that a lot of them had 8, 10 kids on working these things out. And here's 3 of them that now get to go on to state and compete. Only the top 10 teams. What a great story. I mean, I can't say enough about it. It's small, and some might say, oh, that's a small issue in the whole scheme of the city. But I'll tell you, when you can see some lives like that be lightened up, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. So thank you very much. Thanks, City Council and the employees for working so hard in 2019, and we look for a great 2020. All right. We have some presentations to give. Oh, someplace here. Commercial Beautification Awards. Nope. Holiday Lighting. We'll get it right. The 2 key players are coming up, but a little explanation here. This was the 34th year that the Beautification Commission has held its annual holiday lighting contest. The contest is intended to recognize Rock Island residents and the businesses who craft seasonal displays that are enjoyed by many throughout the holiday. This year, over 25 lighting displays were nominated. Displays were viewed by the commission during the bus tour the evening of December 16th. Winners were selected in both residential and commercial categories. Each display was truly outstanding, and the commission would like to thank everyone who participated in this year's contest. I will begin by reading the names of the nominees who already have received their honorable mention. There were no honorable mentions addresses in the commercial category. So real quick to go through the addresses of the people that were honorable mention. 815 11th Street, 1312 12th Street, 1812 12th Street, 801 42nd Avenue. These are not okay. Just make sure I'm 4205 14th Street. By the way, my home. Yeah, I had to, but I didn't win. All that work. 4008 35th Street, 4309 29th Avenue, 3658 31st Avenue, 3128 35th Street, 3138 35th. Boy, a little competition next door there, close. 3225 24th and a half Street Court, 2337 24th and a half Street, 2526 29th Avenue, 2507 31st Street Court, 3401 26th Avenue, 1213 23rd Street, 1434 43rd Street, 903 30th Street, and 2500 27th Street. Quite a few of them, as you can see. So without further ado, I will now read the names of this year's commercial residential winners. Are we ready for that? Kathy, is that where we're keep moving on here? All right. When your name is called, please come up and receive your certificate from Mr. Toller, who will stay up front until we have all the winners together for a group photo. Okay? We've also got a slideshow, I believe, which shows the winners when they come forward. Commercial winners. Third place, Compassionate Care Veterinary Clinic. I didn't see anybody here, but nope. That was 2300 18th Avenue. Second place, Icons Martini. 2100 18th Avenue. I haven't seen Dave. First place, Caliber Home Loans. Anybody here from there? There we go. Get the camera all by yourself. Residential, third place, Jay Westmoreland? Westmoreland. See if I can read it out. Light show with music. You got technical. 3125 9th Street. Next, gentleman I haven't seen here, maybe he is here, but Dan Gleason and Brett Gleason.
Wow.
2230th Street in the second place. First place in loving memory,
Albee.
Alberta Taylor. That's my mother's.
Thank you. Come on up, 4203 Riverview Lane.
And 4210, they're together.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very, very much for everybody's commitment, making it a beautiful. I don't know what plane, but I got it. Must be in here.
All right, let's get the smile in here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. All right, very nice. Congratulations.
we have beautification. We're going to go to the other side of the table. This program was created to honor business owners for their efforts in improving the facades and landscape of their properties. This year, the Beautification Commission will honor 4 businesses with a traveling trophy, plaques and trophies, or trophy. There were 15 nominees, and the quality of each project made the selection process difficult. I agree, I saw them. Each of this year's projects has helped beautify the business, surrounding neighborhoods, and the city of Rock Island at large. The Beautification Commission commends your efforts, as we do up here. I will begin by reading the names of the nominees who have already received their honorable mention certificates. The fire station. Chief, you lost out, see? 1601 30th Street. AP Fit, 4015 6th Avenue. Automotive Experts, 1901 4th Avenue. Dunkin' Donuts, 2711 18th Avenue. Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh Express, 2810 18th Avenue. Rock River Fitness, 3416 46th Avenue. Save More, 625 26th Street. Simmer Crane, 415 31st Avenue. U-Haul Moving and Storage, 3840 46th Avenue. Wake Brewing, 2529 5th Avenue. St. Pius Catholic Church, 2502 29th Avenue. I will now read the names of this year's winners. As your name is called, please come up to accept your award. Please stay up in front until we have all the winners together for the photo. Mayor's Award, Awake Coffee Shop. Anybody here from Awake? I didn't see Jeff. Don't see him. Gosh darn it. City Council Award, Hallberg Estates, 1324th. I haven't seen Deb or anybody from Hallberg. Well, Beautification Commission Award, Skeleton Key and Antiques, 520 18th. Anybody here? There we are, back there. The overall winner, Rotary Trophy Award, Good Shepherd Presbyterian Church, 2324 18th Avenue.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 2. Good. All right. Congratulations.
All right. Number 10.
Proclamation declaring January 2020 as National Mentoring Month. Whereas everyone remembers someone special, a neighbor, teacher, relative, or friend who broadened our horizons and brought purposes to our life. And whereas these special individuals singled us out and volunteered their time to help us become engaged and stay on the right track to success. And whereas every adult has something to offer a child, and every child has something to offer to our community. And whereas research has shown that children engaged in healthy and safe one-to-one mentoring relationships are more likely to graduate high school, avoid incarceration, and avoid delinquent behavior. And whereas there are a significant number of vulnerable children in our community who need and want a positive role model in their lives. And whereas our city embraces the concept of engaging volunteers to mentor children of promise in our community.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, proclaim January 2020 as National Mentoring Month. in the city of Rock Island and encourage all citizens, businesses, public and private agencies, and religions and educational institutions to support mentoring and give young people in our community the gift of time, friendship, and big brothers, big sister. Is there anybody here for this? Oh, there we are, okay. You want to hold this?
There we go. Big smile now. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Perfect. We got a grin out. We got a grin out of him.
Say something, you're more than welcome to. Either one of you. Thank you. Item number 11.
Proclamation declaring January 2020 as Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Whereas the United States was founded upon the principle that all people are created with the unalienable right to freedom, and added the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, making slavery illegal, and whereas human trafficking is modern-day slavery, claiming nearly 40 million victims worldwide, and found in the United States most often in the form of sexual exploitation, forced labor, involuntary servitude, and debt bondage, and whereas this horrific crime, which denies human dignity and freedom and fuels organized crime, exists in our nation, and whereas even though awareness of this crime is growing, human trafficking continues to go unreported due to its isolating nature, the misunderstanding of its definition, and the lack of awareness about its indicators, and whereas increased community education on how to identify victims of human trafficking, along with the increased knowledge of local resources and services for those affected by these criminal actions, can help restore freedom and dignity to identified survivors, as well as help diminish the number of future victims. And whereas every business, community, organization, faith community, family, and individual can make a difference by choosing products that are not made by forced labor, by working to protect our young people from sexual exploitation, by addressing the problem of internet sex trafficking and pornography, and by becoming more aware of the problem and possible solutions. And whereas the City of Rock Island joins the Iowa Network Against Human Trafficking and Slavery in their dedication to providing community outreach and education, legislative advocacy, training, promotion of services to survivors of human trafficking, and collaboration with law enforcement.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, do hereby proclaim January 2020 as Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and encourage all of our citizens to become more informed on this growing problem, to be vigilant and report suspicious activities, and to work towards solutions to end trafficking in all its forms in our community. If you see something that doesn't look right, take action and call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 888-373-7888. Thank you. And I know we got our Honorable Maggie Tinsman to accept this.
We have two people who are employees of Family Resources, Keely and Danielson and Chloe Quintero, and we also have a board member of our advisory committee, Deanna Jensen Valerie.
Come on up, we'll do a little quick photo, and then we'll let you say something about it. Or either one.
This is a lot of pressure.
Don't be shy.
Now, we have two here, so gotta switch it up.
That's fine.
All right, we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, 1, 2, 3. Think we're good. I hope so. Congratulations.
I should say unaccustomed as I am to speaking, but I want to tell you how I greatly appreciate the city of Rock Island passing this proclamation that declares January Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Awareness Month. As the initiator of the Iowa law making human trafficking a felony and the current secretary of Iowa's Network Against Human Trafficking, and the founder of Breaking Traffic, which is now connected, Breaking Traffic is now connected with Family Resources. All of us who you just met, just want to thank you for recognizing how important the issue is. As has been mentioned in the past, trafficking or slavery occurring right here in the Quad Cities is indeed hard to believe, but it is right here in River City. So we all need to have all our citizens learn about trafficking or slavery so that we can become part of the solution to this heinous crime. I also like to thank you for initiating a local massage parlor ordinance, which I believe you did, and I hope that your law enforcement personnel will continue to enforce it, as well as to look for human trafficking whenever drug raids are initiated, as drugs and human trafficking are closely connected. I also want to mention that Iowa now is introducing some legislation this year for hotels and motel training. The bill will ask hotels and motels to train all their employees on human trafficking using programs through their hotel chain or through Breaking Traffic. If they do, the state of Iowa will furnish them a certificate to publicly post on their post in their hotels on their human trafficking training. And then the state and local government in Iowa will have all their state and local events through those particular hotels and motels. Otherwise, the state and local government will not utilize hotels or motels that have not done the training. So you might suggest this kind of legislation in Illinois as well. We know a lot of our human trafficking might start in Hampton, Illinois, and end up in Davenport, Iowa, and it could be the opposite as well. But it's most important that our Quad Cities be free of an element that destroys basic human rights. Like you, we want our communities to be family-friendly and places of which we are extremely proud. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Item number 12.
Proclamation declaring January 20th, 2020 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Whereas Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life and career to the advancement of civil rights, equal treatment, and human decency for all people, and whereas the efforts of Dr. King and the many others involved in the civil rights movement have helped to break down the walls of injustice and allow African Americans and other minorities to succeed, both as individuals and as members of society, and whereas the goals and ideals of Dr. King have not yet been fully realized, with that in mind, it is our duty as Americans to continue his struggle and to work toward a more understanding and respectful society. And whereas the Martin Luther King Jr. Day serves to bring people together in remembrance of this true American hero and encourages citizens to engage in a community service, which in turn serves to honor Dr. King's legacy and advance the cause of justice and equality in America.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, proclaim Monday, January 20th, 2020, as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the City of Rock Island, Illinois, and encourage citizens to serve their fellow Americans and help to make this a better community, thereby providing a fitting memorial to the life of Martin Luther King Jr.
So this coming Monday, January 20th, starting at 10:30 at the Martin Luther King Center, we'll be holding our 37th annual celebration in his memory. I would like for all of you all, and anyone who'd like to come, everyone is welcome to be at this event, to come and remember Dr. King with us. It is an incredible event. I cannot describe it. It can only be experienced, but I do promise you that you will leave our building feeling uplifted and inspired. It's truly that moving at a time. So I hope you all can make it 10:30 Monday. Thank you.
Item number 13.
An ordinance amending Chapter 11, Article 1 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the Planning Commission, second reading.
Move to pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan. Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 14.
An ordinance amending Chapter 7, Article 6, Division 2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding dogs and cats, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
In second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item number 15.
Claims for the week of December 13th through December 19th, 2019, in the amount of $965,462.68, and for December 20th, 2019 through January 2nd, 2020, in the amount of $2,620,958.56, and payroll for the weeks of December 1st through December 20th, 2019, in the amount of $1,507,986.80, and for the weeks of December 16th through December 29th, 2019, in the amount of $1,391,343.61.
Move to allow the claims in the payroll.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 16.
Claims A through D. A, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment in the amount of $317.46 to David Morrison of Rock Island, Illinois, for legal services rendered for the month of December 2019. B, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment in the amount of $9,500 to Terry Elliott for a general liability claim. C, report from the Information Technology Department regarding payment in the amount of $13,738.04 to IT Savvy of Chicago, Illinois, for a 3-year renewal of the Cisco Meraki subscription. And D, report from the Information Technology Department regarding payment in the amount of $11,642.56 to DLT Solutions of Herndon, Virginia, for the Autodesk annual subscription.
Move to accept the reports and authorize payment as recommended for claims items A through D.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Claims E through H. Report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 4 and final in the amount of $21,430 to Sterling Commercial Roofing, Sterling, Illinois, for services provided from July 31st through August 27th, 2019. F, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 26 in the amount of $369,300 to Civil Constructors Incorporated, East Moline, Illinois, for services provided October 24th through November 21st, 2019. G, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $10,147.19 to McClintock Trucking and Excavating, Kelowna, Illinois, for services provided at 1322 44th Street. And H, Report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $11,647.39 to McClintock Trucking and Excavating Incorporated, Kelowna, Illinois, for services provided at 962 24th Avenue.
Move to accept the reports and authorize payment as recommended for claims E through H.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
I need to recuse myself from this vote. However, I do want to clarify, I do not have a conflict of interest voting on Sterling Commercial Roofing nor McClintock, but just to simplify things, I'm going to recuse myself from this vote.
Thank you. Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 17.
ACH payments for the month of November 2019 in the amount of $6,895,845.90.
Move to approve the ACH payments.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 18.
Purchase card claims for the period of October 29th, 2019 through November 26th, 2019 in the amount of $72,138.20.
71,000.
71,000.
71,000, my ear, $71,138.20.
Move to approve the purchase card claims.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion. Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 19.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a one-year funding agreement with the Community Caring Conference for services provided.
Move to approve the agreement as recommended, subject to minor attorney modifications, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
I noticed in the agreement that the first distribution will be by June and the second one by September. If those funds are available earlier, I know Community Caring Conference could use them.
Yeah, they just have to request them, so.
Who do they request it to? Who should I direct Amitra to?
Yeah,
Send him to college.
So we can process it earlier than June?
well, I just said be funded by then, right?
Could be before, but as
Yeah.
long as it's by then.
It's fine.
Okay. They were just called me, they were unclear, so I just wanted to clarify.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item number 20.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the surplus of the 2019 Jumers Casino Rock Island TIF Fund.
Move to declare a surplus of funds in TIF 204 in the amount of $590,055.63 and authorize the city finance director to return the fund surplus to the Rock Island County Treasurer for distribution.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
To clarify, if Randy, you can answer so that we don't have to make Stephanie walk up here, but for those watching at home, why are we giving the county money?
So part of this TIF agreement, if there's any surplus at the end of the year, we return it to the county and it's distributed to the taxing body, so a quarter of this comes back to us.
And then the school district gets theirs and et cetera, et
Now,
cetera.
if we were to use it for a project, we would let them know that it's coming up and so they wouldn't be expecting it, but it's just part of our agreement.
And do we do this annually or at the end of the life of the TIF
Annually on this
district?
one.
And that's negotiated when we set up the TIF district?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 21.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding the purchase of a Falcon 4-ton asphalt recycler and hot box trailer from Logan Contractor Supply, Bettendorf, Iowa, in the amount of $38,005.
Approve the purchase as recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Is Is this the first time we've bought in this type of equipment?
This is.
So is this our maiden voyage into doing HMA repairs in the city of Rock Island by
Mike
city
can be
employees?
happy to come up and talk about this. He's wanted one of those forever.
It's a big step forward. We currently, besides going to Tri-City Blacktop and getting a load of their UPM, which is just a regular cold patch material, and putting it on the back of a 1-ton and covering it with a tarp, and that's our current method. It gets hard very quickly. We have gentlemen in the back trying to stab it and get it in pieces, and it's just a better product all around. A lot of other cities comparable to our size are using them, have been using them for 10 years or more. And this just gives us a better product and a lot less trips to the asphalt plant. We can hold 4 tons now instead of a ton on the back. And
Is this used in pothole filling?
both.
In
So we
patching?
could use it for pavement patching. We can use it for pothole patching. Primarily, why it's being purchased is for pothole patching, but it can dual purpose for pavement patching as well.
Do you foresee us doing wholesale street resurfacing?
Not with this unit, no. No, but we could do larger size patches with a quality patch, because that same method for cold patch in the winter is done with that in the summer. So we're putting hot asphalt on a truck and tarping it and driving to the job. And it's obviously gonna lose its temperature and it not be, it's just not a lasting product. So this will help that.
I didn't know we had any potholes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are you talking about? We don't have potholes, Mike.
We just have
We
not
don't need
potholes.
this. Yeah, there you go.
And it can be used year-round, and it can also work at night because there are work lights, LED night work lights.
He read that one.
Cadillac of all Cadillacs.
All right. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 22.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding the purchase of a new 2020 John Deere 35G excavator from Martin Equipment, Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $54,300.60.
Move to approve the purchase as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Nice to see a Rock Island business getting
I'll just make a
good chip.
comment that that price also includes some attachments, 3 different size buckets, a hydraulic thumb clamp, and a hydraulic hammer.
There you go.
I think James would like to try it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Did you miss something in your childhood that you just wanted to play with it? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 23.
Request from the Fire Department regarding the purchase of 3 ambulance cots from Stryker, Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $52,698.36.
Move to. oh,
Go ahead.
Move to award the bid as recommended and authorize the purchase.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 24.
Report from the Fire Department regarding the sole source purchase of 2 Bullard thermal imaging cameras from Dingus Fire Company of Amboy, Illinois, in the amount of $16,200.
Move to approve the purchase as recommended. Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Excuse me. Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 25.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding a general wage increase for non-affiliated employees, recommending a 1.26% increase effective December 30, 2019.
Move to approve the general wage increase as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I just want to say, I really appreciate all the groups that have negotiated the terms of the contracts, being very willing to work with the city at this time. I think that you all deserve a moment of applause for doing that and helping us out.
Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 26.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding a proposed labor agreement between the city and the International Association of Firefighters, IAFF, for the period of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2023.
Motion to approve the agreement as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I'd like to read the agreement.
You can sit here and do that on your own when we're done.
Actually, I have read it.
I imagine you have. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 27.
Report from the Traffic Engineering Committee regarding the request to remove the handicap parking space in front of 1504 25th Street.
Move to approve the request as recommended and direct the city attorney to prepare the necessary paperwork.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Item 28.
Report from the mayor regarding the appointment of Lloyd E. Davis Sr. to the Beautification Commission and reappointing Bill Sowards and Edna Sowards to the Labor Day Parade Advisory Committee.
Move to approve the appointment and reappointments as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor? Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're now down to other business. Let's see if someone else is signed up here. Is it Carolyn? Is it Carolyn? Is that right? I'm not sure if I got, is that this Sisler? Swissler? Carolyn Swisser?
Also a dog and cat.
A dog and cat also, so maybe she's gone and that issue's been passed. All right. Yeah, for the council, any good for the cause?
I would just like,
You go for it.
I would like to thank the Public Works Department for getting us through this snow event. I know they were very prompt at letting us know, but what could have been a very, the workers still had to be on scene.
All right.
So-
Try it. All right. They did a great job. I wish I would have had more.
And Mayor, I wish to thank you for your state of the city. One thing I would add is that we also have a very generous community.
Yes.
On Wednesday, the Rock Island Community Foundation will be having a press event at the Quad City Botanical Center, announcing a gift from one of our residents in Rock Island, a very unassuming person by the name of Rosemary Woodward, a $2.1 million trust being given to the Rock Island Community Foundation, benefiting 6 organizations, from the Parks Department to our library to the YWCA to Christian Care. This is a trust that's in perpetuity, so will always be here. Probably between $130,000 and $150,000 a year in distributions. It's the community that makes this, the residents that make this community a wonderful place. And it's the generosity and thoughtfulness of Rosemary Woodward and her husband to leave this gift to us.
Absolutely. Any other good for the cause? All right, we have 30. Got a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I never hear anybody opposed.